The preseason frontrunners for the Heisman Trophy rarely win the award in December when it's announced. Instead, it's usually a dark horse, like one of these 5 players we're discussing here. Hey, I'm Bill Enright with Todd DeVries. We're both from FootballNation.com talking about the dark horses for the prestigious Heisman Trophy winner. Todd, it's never really one of these front-runner guys that end up bringing home the award.
No, it's usually someone off the beaten path just a little bit. And we're going to dig pretty deep here, Bill. I'm not going to be giving you any Alabama running backs or Notre Dame quarterbacks. We're going to dig a little deeper for some long shots that might not win it, but might give it a good run.
So you have 5 college players, and their odds, according to the Westgate Las Vegas Sports Book. We'll start off with Washington State quarterback Luke Falk, who comes in at 40-1 odds to win this year's Heisman.
Yeah, Bill, and Luke Falk will likely lead the country in passing. He's going to pass for over 5,000 yards, 40 or 50 touchdowns in Mike Leach's aerial attack out there. The key with him and with many of these guys we're going to talk about today are, can his team perform? Can his team have one of those years where they're one of those underdog teams? Because, a 5-8 Washington State team's not going to get him on the Heisman map, even if he puts up the big stats. You need one of these teams to go, 11-1, 10-2. Washington State, they're a dangerous team. I like Luke Falk.
The only running back you have on this list comes out of North Carolina. It's Elijah Hood at 50-1.
Last year, Bill, he rushed for 1,400 yards and 17 touchdowns. North Carolina made that incredible run all the way to the ACC title game. This year, Hood comes back, and they are minus their quarterback, Marquise Williams, who was one of the top rushing quarterbacks in the country. More of the rushing load is going to be on Hood's shoulders. And if North Carolina can make a similar run like they did last year, it's all going to be about Hood. And if he does that, he could push for 2,000 yards.
Talk about Tennessee quarterback Joshua Dobbs at 30-1.
Tennessee's one of those teams, Bill, SEC. Last year, they only lost 4 games by a grand total of 17 points. They were really close to having a special season. Dobbs is one of those dual-threat quarterbacks, and if they can turn some of those close losses into wins this year with a nice returning cast, Dobbs will be right in the mix.
One of the biggest odds, 100-1. Actually, you like this guy a lot. It's Lamar Jackson from Louisville.
Bill, he was a freshman last year, and he didn't play the whole season, but he still put together 1,800 passing yards and almost 1,000 rushing yards, and he only played about 2/3 of the snaps. This year, it's going to be his show. Louisville's one of those dark horse teams that could put together a nice season, and just keep an eye on Lamar Jackson. He's a fun player to watch.
And finally, you have Houston quarterback Greg Ward Jr.
Well, he was one of our favorite players last year, Bill. 50-1 odds. Houston had that special season. They went 13-1. The only game they lost was the game that Ward was hurt early in the game, didn't even play most of the game. They beat Florida State in the Peach Bowl, Bill. Greg Ward is a converted wide receiver. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. He's going to have a great season. If Houston can get by Oklahoma in week 1, look out.
Hey, if you have a Heisman Trophy dark horse candidate, leave it in the comments, and we'll get organized and try to pick some of the best ones that we like out of the comments section. You can do all of that on FootballNation.com.